Welcome back to another Opus Clip Saturday live stream. So excited to have you here. Today we are talking about how to get more views on YouTube Shorts with this strategy. Roberto, Blake, and I have been meeting every Saturday to talk about different short strategies. So without further ado, I will be bringing in Roberto right now. And with that, I just want to at the top mention that this is not a giveaway live stream for Agent Opus codes. We do those every Thursdays. However, if you are interested, they also do challenges over on the Discord. So we will have the Discord via that QR code link on screen. So if you want to join for that, we have a lot of different things we do. But Roberto, it is so good to have you back. Happy to be doing this, what, 4 Saturdays in a row now? Roberto, I think you're muted.
Oh, we had me muted over on the StreamYard side. I thought it was my broadcaster.
Oh, good. All good.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I think we've done this like 3 Saturdays in a row back to back. So happy to be here with you and with the chat. Yeah.
So last time we've really been talking about short strategy a lot, right? And one of the things we talked about, and we really went deep, and we'll have linked in the description the other two. You should really check them out. But we talked about your blitz strategy. Some of the comments we've been getting is, got it. I just need to post a lot of shorts and point to another video. What are your thoughts on that?
It sounds like people weren't paying attention and they heard what they wanted to hear when I said all of this, Andrew. Like, I mean, the actual thing I said, I even made a point of saying you want to target close to an 80%, if not 85% or higher view to swipe away ratio on the individual shorts. I even went through the trouble of telling people for different niches to record intentional shorts, because it's not just about a lot of shorts. It's a lot of shorts around content people want to see. And also the shorts have to be good enough, because I said that 9 out of 10 of the shorts people scroll through, they're not satisfied with. So it's no point making a bunch of something that people don't want. I've always said that if you're going to do volume, you have to deliver value.
I actually fully agree, and I agree with London with Susan, who says make your shorts intentional. Absolutely. Yes. I think that is so succinct in saying it. I think that, you know, to your point, like, you can do something, just because you do a lot of something doesn't mean it's quality. Like, in a lot of cases, the reason people like a chain like McDonald's is because they put a high volume output of something they're familiar with and like enough, right?
Like, yeah, it's just good enough. Look, truth is, there are trade-offs. McDonald's has convenience and speed. You could, it's not about affordability even. People mistake that. So the affordability angle, and there's a point to me bringing this up. The affordability angle of McDonald's is not selling point. Its speed and convenience has always been the selling point. It is dollar for dollar, pound for pound, more affordable to make the same burger at home, a better burger at home. In fact, you can get a quarter pounder with cheese deluxe more affordably if you buy all the ingredients yourself. The trade-off is you're going to have to sit there and cook it at a much longer time on your stove or grill than you would if you just get it through the McDonald's convenience of drive-through. The same thing for the other features in terms of nuggets, fries, so on and so forth. It would be cheaper to just do it at home, but it's not nearly as convenient. In general, a sit-down restaurant is going to be technically a matter of, it may or may not be more convenient, but the feature there is you're being waited on. You have the atmosphere, you have the environment, and you have people just treating you a certain way, and that's why you go to a sit-down restaurant. So I want you to think of shorts in this same mentality.
And I like what Heather here says. People scroll because they are not satisfied. Good point.
Yes.
And I think that goes to an overall thing that YouTube tells us. You know, viewer satisfaction, if you have heard that term or you haven't, it's making sure that the viewer, when they see your content, that they're not just watching one, they're satisfied. They're going deeper, right? And so I love that you said satisfied, because YouTube's looking at it that way too. So, Roberto, how do we satisfy them with shorts? Like, they know about your blitz strategy. What are you looking for, besides swipe away rate, to make sure they're satisfied?
Well, you want to look at swipe away rate, but you also want to look at viewer retention, just like you would with your normal YouTube videos. You also want to pay attention to comments if you're getting them. and see what people are saying there. But also you want to pay attention to the fact that, not unlike people who click out of regular long form videos within the first 15 to 30 seconds, shorts, it's much more intense. It's the first 2 to 5 seconds. So the thing is, shorts have to immediately deliver on some kind of upfront value, open a curiosity loop, or help validate a reason to not swipe away as quickly as possible. And they have to keep you invested after that 2 to 5 second threshold of saying there's a reason to stay here for the next 20 or 50 seconds, whatever it is. So you have to think of that from that perspective. Unlike TikTok, you also get paid for shorts regardless of how long they are. So a 15-second short, if that's all it takes to get the job done, then 15 seconds it is. And you're still going to get paid for it, unlike with TikTok where it has to be over a minute. So you can think of that from that perspective. And what satisfies a viewer and what a viewer is happy with changes based on whether you're an education channel, an entertainment channel, or a lifestyle channel. If you're a lifestyle brand, shorts could be 15 seconds all the way up to 3 minutes for a lifestyle channel, because you could do an interesting enough story in vertical for a lifestyle channel. If you're out camping, you could sit there and you could post 8, 12 shorts every day of that camping trip, and it's a story that people might want to follow. Also, people may not mind coming in on the middle of that story of the things that are going on a camping trip, because it's just interesting enough, and it's the desire to be a voyeur or live vicariously through you, because they aren't camping, they aren't hiking, they aren't on a cruise line. So for travel, adventure, outdoor, lifestyle content creators, even content creators that are doing fitness challenges in their life. If you're doing a fitness channel, fitness challenge, seeing someone throughout the day or progress of a workout and how they're feeling, having them talk to them about how they're feeling or how they're feeling on this hike that they're doing or this hiking trail that they're doing, that could be something that people, I want to see more of this. Oh, I want to hear more from this person. Oh, what else do you have going on? So people really do enjoy that on the lifestyle side. From an entertainment channel side, entertainment channels like gaming channels get to have shorts of highlights of things from live streams or from gameplay and so on and so forth. So it's about the intentionality, just like London was saying. And then for education channels, look, I find myself when it comes to education channels that do short form on gear, showing me really quickly in 30 seconds a hack for my camera, or what I should be, a trick I don't know for a lens that I own or a lens I want to buy, or very quickly in 90 seconds showing me the features of a camera. That is valuable to me. Remember, one of Peter McKinnon's most viral long form videos was, I believe, 9 camera hacks in 70 seconds or something like that. Okay, so that was a short that was worthwhile. One of Patrick Bet-David's greatest videos was the day in the life of an entrepreneur, and that was like a 80-second video done cinematically, and it was narrative storytelling. OG YouTube was, and a lot of times still is, sketch comedy. If you remember the days of Shipwreck Comedy, that troupe of YouTubers used to do a lot of very quick videos. They were usually comedy skits under 3 minutes. Caleb City, one of the most prolific entertainers on YouTube, even without YouTube Shorts, his stuff was usually 2 or 3 minutes of like, oh, if anime villains were 50% more serious, or what it's actually like to live in an anime neighborhood or something like that, where he'd play all the characters kind of Eddie Murphy style. So entertainment can still be intentional. A lot of you are just overthinking editing when you're like thinking about short form, or some people are looking for a lazy hack for success, when it's about being thoughtful. It's about putting value for the viewer first and foremost in your mind. And you got to figure out, okay, if I'm an entertainment channel, this is what my viewers value. If I'm a lifestyle channel, I don't really have to worry about editing as a lifestyle channel. It's about authenticity, and it's about showing them something very interesting, and it's about advocating for this thing. There may be an aesthetic component to lifestyle channels depending on what you're doing. Someone could literally, but again, it's about authenticity, but it's also about a really cool experience. You could literally build a lifestyle channel and make a bunch of shorts every day, because you could literally show very quickly thrifting or going to garage sales and finding finds, and people would be really super into it, right? Education channels could literally be I don't know what this thing is, and I want you to explain it to me as quickly as possible. Linus Tech Tips and Linus Media Group used to have a channel called Tech Quickie that used to literally focus on videos under 5 minutes to tell you about a piece of technology or a technical term or a chord or a port and explain how it works to you in as quick as time as possible. And most of the videos were 2 minutes long. So education can win on 2 minute. Literally, Peter McKinnon had a series called 2 Minute Tuesday. He didn't usually deliver on the value proposition of it being 2 minutes, but imagine if he did. So you gotta think of it from, and that grew him very rapidly, as we all remember his quick rise to fame in YouTube. So my entire point is people are overthinking the short form part, but they're also simultaneously not being thoughtful enough. And again, people are thinking that editing will save them when it's really about the idea. The idea is more important than the edit, and too much of YouTube identity is wrapped up in an editing style. Most of you could do 5 to 8 shorts in a day if you thought about your ideas more and you realize that a good idea might only literally need 5 to 15 minutes of editing per minute of footage of the execution of that idea.
I love that part about the editing, because I had this conversation with a creative I was working with recently, and she told me, I doing all these impressive edits, and I'm like, are you editing to impress editors? Or are you editing for what your audience finds valuable?
Exactly.
Because what she was doing was to impress other people who know how to edit. And I'm like, but your audience doesn't seem to care. In fact, they're watching regardless if you do those edits. And she stopped doing those in her long form. She'd do 1 or 2, and her retention actually got better. She was able to put out more, and she's not overthinking her shorts. So I'm so glad you talked about the editing component there, because a lot of times, and I'm guilty of it, I'm like, oh, this would be a sick edit. I'm like,
I know.
But at the end of the day, did it matter? Did anyone notice? Maybe I'll get one comment, and I'm like, yeah. But other than that, not really.
Tell me what a lazy editor I am, and then I'll be like, you literally couldn't notice that the entire video you just watched was green screen, and that's not my real office, and then you're gonna call me a bad editor or a lazy editor, and then they shut the hell up real quick on that. I'm like, because they look stupid, and that, because I'm like, you shouldn't sitting there. You shouldn't, if editing is that good, you shouldn't even perceive it. Good editing.
Right.
Is you shouldn't even perceive it. YouTubers, a lot of times, we think that we're doing good editing because we're doing stylistic edits to try to make ourselves unique. And sometimes trying to make yourself unique in the edit means you weren't being unique enough in the production, delivery, and performance to begin with. So that's the thing. And by the way, I think a lot of people can get around the weaknesses of their editing by just using Opus Clip to begin with. And like it can, editing doesn't cover for the multitude of sins of bad production. But again, when there needs to be something to add value, Opus can help improve the audio if that's not your thing. It can give you an opportunity where, wow, I should have showed something instead of just saying it. Great, you can put B-roll in there right now. Okay, I wish I knew how to do motion graphics. Okay, you can do that now. You can have animated motion text, and it's literally automated for you. So there's a lot of value to that, so that you may, if you feel or you're worried about being lazy in your edits, Opus means that for short form, if you shoot a good idea in short form, or even if you're clipping something from a live stream, a podcast, a speaking engagement, an interview, you can enhance it with Opus Clip for a horizontal clip that you want to add some more emphasis to because you performed it in the real world and maybe there wasn't any editing in there to begin with, but now maybe adding some context would help. Or if again it's being reformatted to a short form, it can do it and add necessary context or value for a vertical video, and Opus lets you do that. And if you have that in play, you don't need to spend more than 5 to 15 minutes per short. That means doing 5 to 8 shorts a day on a shorts blitz is literally a 1 to 2 hour task for you, or if you hired an editor that uses Opus to help you with that. And then, okay, then the best part is now it's also not just for the purposes of your YouTube videos. You can take that same content and repurpose it to TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and it can be automated and scheduled. So you're getting a maximum amount of value for the effort that you put into those short forms. Short form needs to stop being thought of as disposable. And again, for the people who do podcasting, like Heather Havenwood, who's coached with me before. She's a great public speaker and podcaster. She goes to a lot of these events. We met a lot in the Podfest community in Florida. I would say that for those of you doing podcast, that you actually have a very easy method with Opus Clip and it importing your podcast or live streams and doing a lot of the clipping for you, choosing the clips intentionally, and then you having to literally only do minimal editing to get the most out of that podcast episode or interview. I think it's a tremendous opportunity. And I think that a lot of creators just need to be intentional about why they're doing something. And I think a lot of creators aren't, because the truth is a lot of creators are either doing things fly by the seat of their pants, or they're copying and aping the product of a bigger creator, and no one needs the budget version of a bigger creator.
Fully agree. And I think that, what you said is that shorts aren't disposable, but a lot of people I've talked to, they're like, oh, I just got to get something out. And like, I feel like I know making videos are hard, but when you're just saying I got to get something out, it's like, no, you also are in the service industry, right? It's not about, there's still quality checks you have to do when you are doing anything like that. So I just want to speak to it. In fact, I saw a comment earlier, right? And this isn't him saying that he just needs to get it out, but he was just saying Spooky Events had. So it's best to create shorts that promote your content, hopefully to a bigger audience. And I think when we talk about, this, I think they're wondering, is it best to make shorts that promote your content, hopefully to a bigger audience?
No, the shorts themselves should be the value. Meaning it's not about, and don't use the YouTube promote button. If you're a content creator and you're not a business owner with a e-com brand or a direct-to-consumer brand, none of you have any business using the YouTube promote button. It shouldn't exist for you. It just literally shouldn't exist for you as an option. It's there in the same way that it's there for people or brands on Instagram and TikTok. It's there because millennial and Gen Z marketers hate the Google Ads interface and they're used to YouTube, and that's why it exists. I'm not joking. So,
I know.
So like, that's the reason. And it exists for them because also a lot of them are doing their work mostly on mobile first, if not mobile only, for their job in a lot of cases. That's the only reason that thing exists. It does not exist for content creators. Most of you are destroying your channels using the YouTube promote button. So I'm just going to say it. And YouTube may not like me saying that, but it is the truth. So there's that. But I want to go to this idea even of thinking of shorts purely as promotional for your long form. I disagree with that. People keep thinking that way because they keep thinking about the difference in ad revenue. Andrew, if either ad revenue in the YouTube partner program didn't exist or all ad revenue paid the same, this would never be a discussion and a conversation, and there'd be no devaluing of short form content or short form creators if ad revenue was equal.
Yeah, fully agreed.
The only reason, and one of the things, I'm not against the YouTube partner program or ad revenue, but sometimes I am, because of the simple fact that as a motivation tool, it exists. But the thing is, so many people live their entire lives fixated around it when it's not even how most full-time content creators make their money. It's how many early content creators start making money, but it's not even significant revenue for the majority of the smaller content creators in the YouTube partner program to begin with. Especially those in entertainment niches, the RPMs are considerably lower. Short form can get 10 times to 100 times the views. So the fact that the revenue for shorts is 20 cents per 1,000 views, 30 cents per 1,000 views is largely irrelevant because it gets 10 times the views on average, if not 100 times if it's doing really well. And when you're making, and you're using my short split strategy of doing 3 to 8 shorts per day, you're largely over-indexing and maximizing on the revenue potential in the first place. And that's where I made it financially viable for creators, because you could see how that would play out. And that gets a creator much closer to the potential to earn at least $100 a day when they have these shorts going out and they have that potential, or even one of them could be an outlier, or all these shorts could start recommending each other. Even without you linking to each other, they could just start this recommendation engine. Because here's what people are not realizing about my aggressive short split strategy. This is what people don't realize. Most of the consumers in your niche, in your market on any given day, really care about the topic that you're making, and they just cannot consume enough new, fresh content that's been made in the last 7 days to get their fill of it, whether it's short form or long form. A lot of people are watching that short form because there isn't enough long form quality content being produced to even satisfy their need, or a lot of it is padded with fluff so people can get more ad revenue out of it, and people are turning what should literally be a 2 to 3 minute video into an 8 to 12 minute video just to make more money at the viewer's expense of enjoyment. So there are people who just like watching shorts to watch shorts, or it's very convenient for them versus a long form for whatever reason. But a lot of times when they swipe up, there's not another really good quality short for the thing that they like to go and watch. If you're making anywhere from 3 to 8 shorts of that content per day, they have a higher probability. And if you've been doing that all week, there's a better chance and there's more inventory of something they actually like being available. What they want is in stock, it's new and it's fresh. It's fresh produce. It's fresh produce available finally, and they can't get it everywhere else. Everyone else is sold out, or everything on the shelf is old and moldy. So that's how people feel. Because again, any of us, if we open up our phone and we start scrolling through short form, only 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10 of them are going to be worth our time, and we're going to be unsatisfied. We already struggle enough scrolling for long form to find something worth clicking on. So the reason you do short splits is an acknowledgement that your niche is not saturated with things people want. It's saturated with crap they don't. And in general, the platform, remember, 88% of videos on the platform still have never broken 1,000 views, which means most people are making content there is no demand for. My short split strategy is about you making only intentional shorts that your audience has a proven demand and desire for. And you doing that and doing it in abundance. We don't whine about an abundance of a thing we like, Andrew.
No, I actually agree with that. I was watching and I was having this conversation. I was at an event and I'm like, I want you to watch some shorts, and we were watching them and I'm like, can you remember the short 3 shorts ago? And they couldn't. And that was a consistent thing. They could not remember any of the shorts they had just watched, and they just consumed it. And then I showed them some shorts from a high quality channel I found that like makes good shorts, and they couldn't help but remember every single one of them, right? And so the difference is when you're making shorts, like a lot of those other shorts, they were just either repurposed or they were low effort or they just weren't targeted enough to their interest, right? And when you are making shorts, you have to understand that it's your own shorts algorithm is learning your interest just as much as we as creators need to understand the interests of our audience. And when we do that well, that's when they remember. That's when it stands out. And I really like what Daniel had put earlier, right? So he's like, making shorts for people who love watching shorts with the sole intention of getting them to stop watching shorts is a bad content strategy.
That's right. And this is my thing about content creators making selfish decisions. Almost every content creator, including half the people in the chat right now, sorry chat, their whole thing is they want people to watch their shorts and then support their long form. Wrong. That is a selfish desire that you have, and that's because you want to see yourself have this many subscribers and then this many views, and you care about your view to sub ratio, and YouTube doesn't, and the only other people who care about your view to sub ratio are other YouTubers. And also there is a small parasocial audience of YouTube obsessed people that act like they're armchair creators, judging content creators and everything. You have a lot of armchair content creators out there who've never actually made anything or succeeded on the platform that will judge you, sure. And to them I tell them screw them. I don't care. Like, those people, you have my permission and blessing to not be as kind to them in your comment section. Like,
Nick Mountain Goat says, now we're cooking with gas.
Yeah, right? So that's the thing, right? So there is a thing, and I understand the insecurity that comes for that and everything like that. Even those people have gotten under my skin from time to time, like armchair editors who can't even tell when I've green screened a video, right? But then are going to say lazy when I'm doing one of the most advanced techniques in editing. The key here is to not do in terms of what we said, is do not make your content and your content strategy revolve around how other YouTubers, other editors, other creators are going to feel about your stuff or how they're going to judge or perceive you. Your only goal is to make content that satisfies your viewer, your audience avatar, as I call it, your person. That's the only thing you're doing. And by the way, it's okay if your people are a smaller tribe than other tribes, as long as they're your tribe. So if you make a video is not bad because only 1,000 people watch it. A video is not bad because only 10,000 people watch it. It means that the total addressable market for that idea is only so big, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing that this problem that you figured out how to solve, maybe it's a good thing that someone's not struggling with that problem right this minute. Maybe that's a good thing. That's not indicative of you doing something wrong or it being a bad idea to serve the people who are dealing with that problem right now. There's people, look, just because there's a small community for something doesn't mean that community is any less deserving of the best content that they can have and the best content you can make just because they're a smaller community. It's just a matter of whether that serves the goals that you have or the vision that you have for yourself. And maybe you start small and you establish the ability to figure out you can satisfy a tribe of people. Then maybe you make the tent a little bigger, but you try to make sure that it still is people with the same values and close to the same interest.
No, 100%. And I love how you put in perspective, like 1,000 people, that is a sold out park for most people, that if 1,000 people are in front of you, you would be absolutely overwhelmed. That is a lot of keynote speaking stage with 1,000 people right in front of you. It is not as easy as you think.
I've spoken in front of 1,000 people before. It's like, people sitting there and they'll get really upset if they only get 200 views. It's like, okay, there are only 200 people maybe on those benches in Times Square. What if I made you perform your content in front of them? Oh, that's scary.
If you had to film it live? Ooh.
And filming it like, oh, that's scary. That's intimidating. That's embarrassing. I'm scared. Okay, if you can't perform your content in front of Times Square or Grand Central Station for 50 to 200 people, why are you sad or embarrassed that that's how many views you just got?
Very fair point.
Why are you sad and embarrassed that you have 20, 30 people watching you on a live stream when you're not willing to perform in front of 30 people in Central Park or in Grand Central Station? You're not willing to do that. You're not willing, like, if 30 people show up on a subway platform to watch someone perform the violin or breakdance, you realize very quickly that 30 people is a lot of people.
Oh yeah. Well, like, people often, like, street performers are actually a really great way to look at YouTube. They get a lot of impressions, people just passing them by, but how many people actually stop to watch, aka stop to click, right? That's even less. How many people actually put $1 in? That's even less. So that gives you an idea of impressions, click-through rate, view duration, watch time. Everything can come back to how we see it, right? And so one thing I would say is when we are talking about like performing and like making content, it's not always easy. I wanted to actually have a conversation because I saw this comment that I thought was interesting. I would love your take on it.
Sure.
You know, this one came from Nick, and he's like, I don't want to torture my subs with shorts about videos they've already seen. What are your thoughts when people are like, I don't want to torture them with videos they've already seen?
Then you're thinking about repurposing your existing long form to shorts, and that's not my primary strategy, with the exception of streamers and podcasters and reaction channels who did live experiences. By the way, all right, go into your analytics right now, Nick, and anybody else. Go into your analytics right now. 80% of all of your views are from non-subscribers. I promise you, 50 to 80% of all of you, 50 to 80% of your views for every single one of you in your analytics right now. Tell me in the chat. Go into your analytics on your phone. Tell me. 50 to 80% of all of your views were from non-subscribers. 50 to 80%. You're not torturing your subscribers with jack. None of you. Because 50 to 80% of all of your views were not even from people subscribed to you. So you're all fixated on your subscribers when they're not even seeing the bloody videos. And you're all obsessed with your subscribers, and they're not your primary supporters. They're just not. Period. And then watch this. I promise you that for the overwhelming majority of you, on every one of your shorts and every one of your long forms, that anywhere from 30 to 70% of your views, if not 50% or more of your views on every video you've uploaded in the last month and every short you've uploaded in the last month were from first-time viewers. First-time viewers. I promise you that regular viewers for every single one of you is less than 10% of your views on every video, and your overall audience is less than 10% of them are regular viewers who've watched multiple videos over a 12-month period or more. Most of your viewers are first-time viewers, and the next largest amount will be casual viewers. Some of you will have 40-50% casual viewers if you've been aggressively uploading shorts, for example, but then another 30-40% of that will easily be first-time viewers who've never seen or heard from you, and less than 10%, most of you, it's between 1 and 8% that you get regular viewers if you're lucky. None of you are cracking 20% of your views from regular viewers, so none of you have 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 5 of your views coming from regular viewers, and for most of you, 50 to 80% of all the views you have on your entire channel and on every video you've uploaded, and just tell me what the stats are in the chat. Like, look here, London, 97% non-subscribers. I don't stress over my subscribers. I know my channel views are from first-time viewers on my channel. So there you go. So for most of you, 85%, Larry from Home Wrap Repair, 85% total views are new viewers. Most of you are fixated on myths about YouTube that are not true. Most of you need to stop worrying about your subscriber number. Subscriber number is just people who are publicly vouching and saying, I publicly support this creator, and I'm saying that there's someone worth supporting. That's all a subscription is. It's not like it was 10, 15 years ago where that affected the delivery of videos unless you're using the sub feed. So it's not that. Notifications. A lot of you are so worried about notifications. You're worried about uploading too much because of 3 notifications in 24 hours. Notifications are less than 1% of your bloody traffic. Go into your traffic source right now. Go into your traffic report right now. Most of you cannot even crack 1% of notifications. Notifications are worthless. It's the worst thing YouTube ever did. Like,
You could also just turn those off.
you could also turn them off. And most of the reason is, Andrew, regardless of whether someone has notifications turned on for you in YouTube, they don't have notifications turned on for the app in their device. Device notifications are off, so it doesn't matter. So they're not getting the notifications, and they're not prioritizing off of that. So notifications and the 3 notifications in 24-hour rule is completely irrelevant, except maybe for streamers. It's completely irrelevant. 1% of your traffic or less is notifications. For most of you, less than 20% of your views are from your subscribers, and overwhelmingly most of it is first-time viewers. So you're not making videos for subscribers. Get that out of your head. You're not making videos for subscribers. Notifications are completely irrelevant. Get that out of your head. And then also, we have proof, and I've shown this with analytics, I've shown this time and time again, that the overwhelming majority of your new uploads will reach first-time viewers, so it's not cannibalizing the reach on your previous videos. And why do I know this? Because I have clients who upload 3 long forms a day and upload shorts every day. I have creators that are uploading 8 to 12 shorts every single day, and it's not hurting them, and it's not cannibalizing the new uploads that day or any of them. So it is a mythology that exists in YouTube that new uploads hurt your previous uploads. All new uploads stand alone. And here's the kicker, Andrew. Even in the same day for shorts and long form, you are reaching more than 50% new first-time viewers on all of those videos. That's why those channels grow so fast. Those channels grow so fast. And by the way, you know what's another reason we know this? Corporate channels like Watch Mojo, T-Series, even in India, they win on these bulk uploads of their catalog and their back catalog, but it's because majority of the people seeing something are seeing it from the first time every single upload. Even individual uploads are not majority going to the same viewers every time. So even the concerns about viewer fatigue are exaggerated. You're not doing subscriber burn. You're not doing viewer fatigue because your own data will tell you these people, video to video, are not the same viewers, not in the majority. More than 50% of them are not the same people.
And what I would say, this is all assuming you have good content, right? Like, if your content is not high quality, and like a lot of times people are like, I make high quality videos, you're talking about the technical quality. You need to go deeper. You need to study your analytics to see if the people watching agree with it, right? Because I've seen people say, I make high quality, but then when we look deeper, it's like, well, people actually aren't watching more than 30 seconds. So like, you've done great on the packaging, but the actual video itself, we need to work on that, right? So I say that to say that like, you could put out a lot, but it goes back to what we said earlier, right? If it's not good content to begin with, you're just putting out a bunch of bad stuff too.
Yeah. By the way, I've never seen anyone get a timeout from YouTube for quote unquote uploading too much. If you upload too much in the same hour, but like, Daniel Patel is a great example here. Daniel Patel has gotten over 3.4 million views in the last 28 days. 30% were from subscribers. And with him being prolific and with him doing one software and one subject matter, he didn't even get to 10% from returning viewers. So as you can see, even someone who has a single software and single subject matter focus, which in his case is DaVinci Resolve editors, with that small, like that narrow as hell audience, even Daniel's not even cracking 10% of those being returning regular viewers. So it just goes to show you. The other thing is with YouTube, I have not seen someone get timed out for uploading too much to YouTube in 24 hours by uploading 8 to 12 videos and shorts in a day, nor have I seen it on news channels that literally news channels for breaking news upload 3, 5, 8, 12 videos a day, whether that be someone like the Young Turks or Tim Pool or Fox News.
I can say I have seen it, but it was not high quality content. What I mean by that is by the standards YouTube sets, right? So
correct.
It is possible, but it's usually
I was going to go there. I've never seen it for somebody doing legitimate content and not spamming the platform. Because, by the way, you have Law and Order YouTube channel that does the body cam footage stuff and everything. Look at how prolific they upload, but that's quality by YouTube standards. Look at Nate the Lawyer. Look at how often he uploads. Look at how Lead Attorney clips his podcast. You see, so it's not that it's impossible. It's that if that happens to you, you're not following the standards and strategy that I'm advocating for. Right. At that point, you're just a spammer.
And if it is, and like, look, YouTube will tell you themselves, they make mistakes. You shouldn't be talking to us. Go talk to Team YouTube. Go find them. They're in multiple places, Threads, Twitter, wherever you can find them. They actually have a support portal in the studio for some channels these days. But I also wanted to talk about, like, one thing that when it comes to shorts, people are like, but you make more money on long form, right? Actually, it depends. And I wanted to quote, and I'll put the article in the chat, but this came from Variety. They were talking about how Neil Mohan, the CEO of YouTube, in case you didn't know, is like for shorts in some countries, it's at parity with YouTube main in terms of revenue, in terms of other things, right? So a lot of people are like, well, you can't make that much money in shorts, right? It's maybe 5 years ago when the program was just launched, but as it matures, like YouTube's been around for 20 years. YouTube Shorts came out in 2020. That means now that for a fourth of the platform's life, shorts have existed. Yeah. We are past the early days. And I saw someone on one of our streams say, but shorts are just a fad. I'm getting really tired of that one. No. I don't know how you feel.
No, short form dedicated platforms are a fad that happens and is secular, but shorts are not. Shorts themselves are not. And remember, a lot of you just have not been around for a long time because the original YouTube was all shorts. We just didn't call it that. The original YouTube was people doing very short films on shoestring budgets and doing 24-hour film challenges. It was very short day in the life vlogs. The original YouTube was music video parodies. It was comedy sketches. It was TV commercials that were less than a minute long. That's what YouTube was for the first 7-8 years of YouTube. The most high-end production value on YouTube was Freddie Wong, and he was never making 10-minute short films. He was making the most watched person pretty much. He wasn't the biggest YouTuber, but he was like views-wise, he was, and he was making spectacle content before Mr. Beast, and it was Freddie Wong. Go look at the Rocket Jump channel, go sort by oldest. Freddie Wong was making videos, and Freddie Wong's videos were usually under 3 minutes in many cases because he was using a lot of special effects, green screen, or they were doing choreography or wire work. So the original Freddie Wong videos over on the Rocket Jump YouTube channel, if I go to their oldest videos of all time, and those were some of the most viral videos on YouTube ever, were all in that era, and they were under, they were like largely under 3 minutes long because they kind of had to be in order to do what they were doing. They certainly were under 10 minutes long, and these were some of the most viral, epic videos on YouTube. The videos from Annoying Orange and Fred were short as well. iJustine used to do comedy, parody, and skits. Those were all like under 3 minutes, and all the music video parodies were all under 3 minutes because most songs were under 3 minutes back then. So it is what it is. Everybody doing video game parkour in real life was literally under 2 to 3 minutes. It was just horizontal instead of vertical. That's all it was. But everything back in the day, in fact, actually, can I share the screen to prove my point? So here's OG YouTube of 15 years ago, and this is Rocket Jump. They have over 9 million subscribers. This was Freddie Wong. He was one of the biggest YouTubers of all time. He made the YouTube series that became a Netflix series called Video Game High School. This is YouTube of 15 years ago. So 15 years ago is the 2010s era of YouTube. So here is skydiving out of my front door, which was a YouTube video from 15 years ago, again, done with a green screen, where literally and I'm going to mute this, Andrew, so we don't have to worry about copyright or stuff like that, but it's literally a 1 minute video, and this could be repurposed to vertical video and would be a viral short right now, where he literally walks out of his front door. They shot this all with practical effects and green screen. This is before AI. Today, people would swear this is an AI video. This was all done with practical effects, Blender, which is a free open source 3D software, and this is all under 1 minute. This is basically the first YouTube short, and this was uploaded 15 years ago. This is one of the first YouTube shorts, and it's uploaded 15 years ago. And I call it a YouTube short because it's a video that's under a minute. Here are all these videos that are mostly really high quality videos that are under, most of these are under 2 minutes. There are some other ones that are behind the scenes and things that are 8 minutes and whatever. But when they really get going and you get beyond the behind the scenes stuff, and they just are going into what their videos, if I go to oldest and not popular, if I go to the oldest videos of how YouTube used to be over on Rocket Jump, one of the best YouTube channels of all time, every one of these videos with 10, 15, 13 million views, 5 million views are all under 3 minutes. So don't tell me YouTube Shorts are a fad. It's just that vertical video platforms that are only vertical video platforms have been a fad and trend out in terms of Vine, Snapchat. To some degree, there's been a decline with TikTok, so on and so forth. But short, high effort videos or even authentic videos, again, have been a long-standing tradition on YouTube. And then as for the money side of this, I brought up the analytics. This is October. Jake uploaded 40% less because he got sick, plus he went to Vid Summit. He uploaded 40% less shorts, and he still made almost $8,000. And this doesn't count the revenue from the repurposing this to TikTok. And when he was doing aggressive short splits in the month of September, these are, by the way, this is just short feed. This is not long form. This is just short feed. 14,000, not counting the $4,000 from TikTok from repurposing. And he didn't even do the aggressive short splits the entire month of September, but this is what it can be like. And then long form did this much. Now, again, these are still short form in terms of the uploads here, but so sure. Look at the difference. Look at the difference. So don't tell me short form doesn't make money if you do it right. My entire short split strategy is about neutralizing almost every single aspect of the negatives of shorts and optimizing around the positives of shorts. That's the entire point of the strategy. And by the way, this is in gaming, the thing that's supposed to be the most saturated, most competitive, most low income niche in YouTube, allegedly. And this is working. And this isn't the only channel like this. It's just that Jake has let me be very, very transparent about what's going on with his stuff. And again, even in the month of November, with him doing a lot less aggressive and missing some days, here we are 1 week into November, almost $2,500 1 week into November. Not a bad haul. If every week of November is like this, that's $10,000. That's all short form, baby.
And I want to give you the floor because I saw someone call out, but we're in Q4. Aren't ads right now just higher? How will this be in January?
It'll be fine. People really, really are overthinking a lot of this. It'll be fine. And by the way, the RPMs on shorts. Oh, you can take us back to sports.
I was working on it.
No, you're good. Like, the thing is, shorts revenue is unlike long form RPMs, doesn't have as much of the swing fluctuation on the RPM side in terms of the advertising pool. It's just radically different. And then the another thing people don't take into consideration is also YouTube Premium revenue doesn't fluctuate. That it's watch time based. But I digress. So again, this last quarter, you also have to consider this quarter, even with some upswing, is not as lucrative as previous quarters, and I can tell you why. Layoffs, less overall advertising, and depending on where you are in the stock market, those lovely, lovely, or terrible, terrible tariffs, depending on where you are in the stock market. I don't lose no matter who wins. So the thing is, we are not in the most profitable seasonality that we've ever been in Q4. So I largely deem it to be irrelevant. And we are not at the peak Q4 that we could have been at, because even with stagnation and inflation, during the pandemic, you just had a massive 80% increase of internet user adoption that inflated some people's sense of what their views should be, what their revenue should be, and what RPMs and CPMs would be and could be in a lot of places and a lot of niches. But we've also had some balancing and shifting scales. The thing is, if you're in the software niche, it's a great time no matter what, because there's just more of it, and because, oddly enough, AI has been increasing software adoption on some things. Some brands are doing higher than others. Some are doing better brand deals and revenue. And then on the other side, there are some brands that are struggling with this and are cutting affiliate programs, cutting sponsorship, cutting ad spending as if that's going to save them, cutting budget as if it's going to save them. So it depends on your niche. There are ups and downs for different niches. You know who's really killing it right now, Andrew? Lifestyle brands, because of direct to consumer, and it's almost never been better. And you've got a different boom in that, and you've got a lot of cultural shifts and trends. A lot of millennial and Gen Z adults are moving to one. They're deciding on what gives them more joy. They're looking a lot at lifestyle and what they want out of life. And you're finding also, after post-pandemic, you're finding travel increase. So you're seeing people want to do that. But also they're simplifying and they want simple travel. Camping and outdoor adventure niches are going up because of that. Fitness, biking. People are like, oh, I want to lose the 20 pounds from COVID. Fitness niche. Going to the moon, direct-to-consumer brands, people with healthy lifestyle, weight loss journeys, people talking about de-stress, people telling stories like, oh my God, I burnt out, I had a heart attack, I went to the hospital, now I'm living this healthy lifestyle, and I'm doing this workout program, these supplements, I'm doing yoga, I'm doing meditation. You have all these channels that are going up. So the thing is, people need to take a step back on all of this. And the thing is, almost every question we're getting, and I'm not attacking anybody when I say this, everything we're getting, Andrew, a lot of the pushback is all people voicing a fear that they have. And my answer is, what if the opposite turned out to be true? Or, okay, so what? Don't build your content strategy around fear, because that's what I'm hearing from people. I'm afraid that the audience is going to get fatigued. Okay. People don't get fatigued of something they really, really enjoy a lot. And you can also, just because you're doing something abundantly, if you look at the data, well, more than 50% of them are seeing it for the first time. How the hell are they going to get fatigued? For the people who might be fatigued, offer more value, and then also look at ways to incrementally spice things up. I'm not saying sit there and blast out the same thing, the same thing over and over and over again. Have a built-in pattern for yourself of where over the course of a month, to not exhaust yourself, you'll need to do something different every upload. Make an improvement in one dimension across a month or across a 90-day period, so that it's a qualitative and measurable improvement, and people can see the growth and see the progression if they are loyal and sticking with you. But keep in mind, every day out of those 90 days, 50% or more of the people are going to be new people, so they're not going to even interpret progression. They're just going to think it was always this good. So do keep that in mind. So audience fatigue, the fear of that, throw it out. Oh, the fear of the notifications and subscribers, we debunked that with the data. The fear of, oh, this doesn't make any money, we just debunked that with the data. So everything that everything that you're afraid of can probably, everything that you fear can probably be addressed with a fact, and that fact is something I'm dedicated to giving you data behind.
Yeah. And I think that one of the things people fear is, a lot of people look at YouTube as a revenue source. I'm not saying this is what this person said, but like when we were showing the shorts, they're like, but it doesn't make as much as long. But it
If it
makes
performs, it does.
it, yeah. And like I've seen that to be true as well. Like I've had a couple creators who have actually seen the opposite, especially with like YouTube shopping integration with like some shorts. Like there's a reason that YouTube is putting a lot into the shopping program. We talked about lifestyle brands. They see the value in working with creators and being on platform.
The person afraid that long form doesn't make as much as short form has then should do nothing but go and live stream every single day. They should live stream every single day. No, because here's the thing. If you're in an RPM niche where your RPM is $2 to $4, if you got 10,000 views, the most you're making is $20 to $40 off of that. And that would be considered a successful video for a small creator. If that's the case, you should just be bloody live streaming on every single platform, multi-streaming every single day, because all you need is 2 to 4 donations, 2 to 4 individual people to donate for you to make the same money. Live streaming would be much more lucrative than any of your long form videos unless they go viral.
Yeah.
So you can't. So if you're looking for, it makes more money, then live stream every day if you're worried about that. Because here's the thing: most of you can't get someone to click on a video to begin with to save your life. If you had to get 5,000 views within 30 days, or your life is over, you'd be in trouble. So you have no business worrying about long form paying more on views you're not getting. 88% of videos on the entire platform, 5 billion videos, Andrew, 5 billion videos, 88% of them don't have 1,000 views in their entire lifetime. And we're going to argue about 20 cents on 1,000 views that you're not getting versus $2 to $4 on 1,000 views you're not getting.
I think a lot of what I've seen goes back to your point of fear, right? Like you can know things but not experience them, and that's the problem. It goes back to the Goodwill Hunting thing. You can study it, but you've never actually been there. You've never actually done the thing, right? And I think that often, like, it lacks perspective, right? And that's something I've been guilty of. I know a lot of creators are, even large creators.
Even me.
Right. And it's not to say that it's wrong or right per se. It's just saying we're asking you to challenge your perspective.
Right.
And that is I'm aware, and I'm sure you're aware, Roberto, that statistically not everyone listening or watching the replay will do that, right? But if we do hit the ones who do and they really change it, where they'll be in a few months, a few weeks, a few years will be all the difference.
I agree with that. Look, even with Andrew, the single greatest perspective shift that made me successful in YouTube, and the reason I got to 100,000 subscribers in 3 years. And remember, 2 years in, I only had 20,000 subscribers. Andrew, ask me how I went in 14 months from 20,000 subscribers to 100,000 subscribers in 2015 to 2016.
How'd you do it?
I literally uploaded a long form video every day, every single day, and didn't worry about how every individual video performed. And I looked at just how the whole of the channel was doing. And that is the reason that from 2015 to 2016, I got 100,000 subscribers. Because all I did was upload a video every single day that I thought would be useful to the audience. And I got to 100,000 subscribers, and not a single bloody one of them went viral. Not a single bloody one of them went viral, Andrew. It didn't matter. And the thing is, I was heavily converting first-time viewers who had never seen me before into subscribers. And because I was doing a concentration of videos, because the way I was doing it, weirdly enough, was ironically, I had every day technically fit within the scope of 5 content pillars. So that meant every day for a year, I was making videos around 5 things that I felt had a unified theme. The theme could have been tighter, but I was making these different videos 7 days a week, but largely around 5 themes. And you could argue one of them a week was a throwaway video for myself, 1 to 2 of them. And the concentration of people seeing me over and over for the videos that they cared about. Not every video. People were not supporting me on every video. Even back then, most people were finding me for the first time. But the thing is, the stuff was so useful, so helpful, and they got used to me. A lot of them did not like me the first time they watched me, Andrew, but they liked me the 5th time they had a problem that I could solve for them. And they were like, you know what? This guy's all right. And then eventually they're like, in fact, actually, this is my guy.
Yeah.
Because I made it to where whenever they had that range of problems and they were looking for an answer, they couldn't get away from me. Every search, they were, there's his face, there's his face. Like, there are 20 results on this page and 8 of them are him.
Yep.
Like, all right, I give in. Like, it's like, just like Steve Urkel showing up every day. I'm wearing you down, baby. Yeah,
Consistency is important. Like,
So,
that's
but-
what we talk
yeah.
about with consistency.
Exactly. And so it gave me a couple of things. It gave me reach, but it also gave me depth because I also was I was making enough things that were focused. Now, I want you to imagine how much I would have grown, Andrew, if all of that same volume of content had, instead of having 5 tangentially related themes where there was maybe 2 of them at a time overlap for the same audience. I want you to imagine that 7 days a week, that I literally, what if I had only made videos for one audience with one really narrow scope of issues and problems? Imagine the compounding effect I would have had during that time. Getting 100,000 subscribers a year, which I also did for 3 additional years after that, which is how I became a mid-tier YouTuber. A big
I don't
YouTuber.
have to imagine it. I mean, that's what we did at the TubeBuddy YouTube channel. Like, if we're gonna call it, like, people are like, "How'd you do it?" Like, we focused hard on what they needed, right? And like our best year, like for 5 years in a row, 100,000. But when I left, we hit 250,000 in a year by that strategy, right? So I don't have to imagine it.
A singular value proposition. A singular value proposition. Like, if you focus your energy, right? Like, if you focus your energy on one thing, the compounding on that one thing is exponential. A lot of people are afraid to do that, which is why people are afraid to niche down, because they're afraid, what if I do that and it doesn't work out? But you have to remember, the biggest YouTubers that exist, aside from people who just went viral for hopping on a trend or a moment, they weren't random virality. They usually always had something going for them, and it's not random. Let's be honest, most of the biggest YouTubers are above average attractive, or they're above average talented, or they are a freak of nature in some other weird way that you can't duplicate, which is why people fail to duplicate them. They're just outliers in something. But aside from that, outlier theory aside, a lot of them just literally focused their effort at one thing. And a lot of them, they're talented. They only focused on one thing. Ninja put everything into Fortnite, and he became the Fortnite guy. No one remembers that he played Halo. No one remembers. No one remembers that he played Halo. Nobody. Nobody remembers that he played COD. Nobody. He focused on one thing, and that's what he's known for. Nade Shot, 100 Thieves. He's not known as the FPS guy. He's known as the Call of Duty guy, and now he's known as the 100 Thieves guy. It's just what that is. Most people in this chat do not remember that Justine was a variety content creator. She was a live caster on Justin TV first. She was doing all kinds of different things. Justine is known for tech. There is a lens through which people perceive you, and it's through the value that they want from you. I'm not saying you're one-dimensional one thing. I'm saying that most people, they have a very narrow view of what they value from you, and they view you through that. Most people around me don't value me for my artistic capabilities or being a really good photographer. They value me for being one of the smartest, most articulate people they know. That's who I am to them. Other people value me for, he's the reliable person who, if he can help me, will help me. That is the lens that they don't see me for my tech savvy. They see me for my reliability. There are other friends that know, he's the tech guy, he's the camera guy. If I have a tech problem, call up Roberto. If I'm having this, there are other people, for all of you, most of you do not value me for my creative ability. You value me for my ability to help you grow as a content creator. You value me for some of my creator business savvy. You value me through the lens that you perceive and value. Your audience is the same way, and that's what you need to understand. And whether that's for your long form, your short form, you're creating these different lenses of value. Your live streams are the lens of value of they can interact with you, they can talk to you, they can get the real you, less filtered, less edited, less polished. They value that. If you're a gamer, they value the fact that, they see the authentic gameplay and that you're not modding or cheating. So they value that. For your edited content, they see what effort and thoughtfulness from you and research or attention to detail looks like for that, or you putting together information concisely, or you presenting a beautiful aesthetic experience for them if you're a lifestyle brand. So they value through that lens. If it's your short form, what they're valuing is they're valuing the fact that now you're packing the most value you can per second into an experience for them while they scroll in this place where they are a little bit more laid back. And again, they're not expecting the moon and stars from you. They're just expecting a really good condensed experience. For lifestyle brands, that means they're seeing a snippet into your life or your experience and seeing that and being inspired from you really quick. And they don't need to sit there and indulge that for too long. In fact, if they watch it too long, if they were watching it for 20 minutes and watching this gorgeous lifestyle or experience for 20 minutes, maybe that's enough to trigger envy. But maybe if they get to see it 30 seconds at a time, or they get to see that, hey, it's not so glamorous all the time, and that you real quick behind the scenes it was really hard, maybe that's that. Because maybe in your edited video you're showing them polish, maybe in your short form you're showing them texture, and they're seeing the nitty gritty, and they're seeing how it actually is, and they're seeing you sweat a little. So that's the thing. They don't need that perfect polished performance. That's why sometimes there's a parallel between streaming and short form, is because it addresses the authenticity aspect of what people want. They don't want the highlight reel per se. They want either a deep, immersive, authentic experience, or they want a small, short, authentic experience that makes them feel closer to you. That edited video is you trying to overperform a lot of times and show perfection. But it doesn't always have to be perfection. I think that you could use long form and be very authentic, but I think you just be thoughtful and intentional. I think more of you need to stop over editing, and you need to learn how to actually, you want so desperately to be a personality channel, but you refuse to show who you really are.
I think that is very succinct when it comes to a lot of, and again, we keep circling back when it goes to fear, right? I was actually talking with someone who she will do like pop-up lives on her YouTube Shorts feed. And I say vertical live. She's not going horizontal like we are now. She's focusing on vertical. And one of the things when we were talking with is she's like, I don't know why my viewers like my shorts, like live streams, more than anything else I do. And I had to sit there and say, because you're not editing yourself out. You are giving them who you are. And I have had the pleasure of working with like, you know, a lot of like traditional film companies. And what they will tell you is that they spend millions of dollars to try to be a lot more authentic when most creators have that for free. You didn't have to spend money to have what you already have. So why are you spending all this money on camera, on gear, to edit out the part that the other part of our industry is trying to put in, right? So you are actively working against your best interest. Right. And this, because again, most people confuse technical quality with actual quality. And so like there are times where I'll leave in a mistake because it's more human. I don't always need to be perfect. I just need to be relatable. I'm not transactional, I'm relatable.
Do you want me to break down what quality is so there's no more confusion about what quality is and the understanding of the difference between quality and value?
Absolutely. Let's go.
All right, so value is usually expressed, and not only expressed, but usually expressed through the 4 T's: topic, title, thumbnail, and timing. That is valuable. Why? Because no matter how high quality you make your video, if I don't value it, I cannot click on it, I cannot consume it. And it doesn't even matter how much of it you make either in terms of quantity. We have this whole quality versus quantity debate, and I've destroyed it forever. I did it at VidSummit. I asked the audience, it's like, okay, any of you here, you can make the highest quality strawberry dessert you want. You can make as much of it as you want, but I'll never eat it. Why? And I had people give me their answers. Larry from Home Wrapper Repair remembers this because he actually knows the answer, but so he wasn't allowed to answer during my talk. And so only one person got it right. They were like, you're allergic to strawberries. They were guessing, and I was like, that is correct. So I cannot consume something, no matter how good you make it or how much of it you make, if I do not value it, if it's not for me. So that means if something's going to make me sick, or I don't like it, or I can't have it, then no matter how good you make it, or no matter how much of it you make, it's not for me. Topic disqualifies the far majority of viewers before we get to how well you edited, how well you perform, how well you present. And again, topic, title, thumbnail, and timing are the only judgment we have for a long form video of what its value is. In a short form video or live stream, we have to go off of the initial couple of seconds plus the title for that if there's not a thumbnail. Now, quality is the experience we have. I'll give you an example. You can look at someone and from a value proposition, you can say, oh, they're really interesting. Oh, they're really attractive. They're really charismatic. Oh, they have high status. They're famous. And then you meet them, you meet your hero, and you're grossly disappointed with the experience of it. And you realize this person might have status and value in people's eyes, but the experience of being around them is that I'm not around a good person. I'm not around a wholesome person. I'm not around a polite person. They're rude. They're vulgar. Or they're mean-spirited. They're petty, or they're inattentive, or they're insensitive. So now, oh, this is not a quality experience. This is not a quality individual. Doesn't diminish their value to society. Oh, they're rich. They're famous. They're smart. They're whatever they are. That's value that we're perceiving at a glance, but spending time with them is not great. For those reasons, I don't care who you are, I'm out, you're not a good person. That's a quality thing. Okay, it's the same thing with your video. You can have a great topic, great title, great thumbnail, it can be super interesting. I get into it, oh, either the experience of your personality, the way you present, the way you communicate, not good, not for me, or it could be that, oh, this video's packaging was really good, but the audio sucks. The video quality is very bad. It's very distracting. Oh, they left in errors and mistakes in their continuity. Or, oh, the editing's fancy, but the information was bad. It wasn't something that where they did quality research. They didn't get the facts correct. So what you have to look at is there's a technical part of quality. The technical part of quality is the production value in terms of video quality, like the lens, the lighting, the audio. I usually say camera, lights, audio. Camera, lights, lens, and audio are usually the four things that I think are levers you can pull for the technical quality of a video in terms of garbage in, garbage out, gold in, gold out. Then we have another consideration. What about the human part? The human part of a quality experience is your presentation, your personality, and your performance. So, do you present as someone who looks the part? Do you present confidently? Do you perform it well? Do you perform it with confidence? Do you make an emotional connection with the viewer? And is your personality something that people want to be around? Are you the right type of personality? For some people, they need a strong personality. They need a strong man. For some people, they need someone empathetic. For some people, they need someone who inspires or motivates them as charismatic and stimulates that intellectual curiosity, so on and so forth. Or again, just whatever persona the viewer is attracted to as an avatar, the audience avatar, the tribe is attracted to, what they're looking for in that aspirational figure or that leader, right? So there's that part of it. You can look at performance, by the way, or presentation through the lens of your confidence on camera, your communication style, and your connection emotionally with people as you communicate to them. So the 3 C's there, okay? But then we have another aspect of it. And that one really comes down to the structure of a video, the style of a video visually and aesthetically, which could be the edit can be structure in that, and the script and storytelling of the video. And so then if the script and storytelling is bad, it doesn't matter how aesthetically great it was, it doesn't matter how well you perform. Look, the most beautiful cinematic experience I've probably seen in many, many years was Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Argue anything you want about it, beautifully gorgeous cinematography, the casting was immaculate, perfect casting, great performances from Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver, Mark Hamill, John Boyega, Kelly Marie Tran, the all-star cast, great performance, great production, great aesthetic, THX sound, gorgeous audio, all the things. Where it suffered were pacing and structural things in terms of some of the scenes, and people even who liked it say, yeah, the space chase was dragged out a little much for them. And a lot of people are like, yeah, I don't really like the narrative parts of the Canto Bight scenes. It was really distracting and it didn't really add anything. It didn't end up being meaningful in the long run of the video. There was nothing of significance in the film that those scenes really add to it. So they had a problem with the storytelling, the overall script, And then you have the biggest complaints with regard to the script and storytelling with regard to aspects of character development, such as the legacy character of Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker. So when you have everything gorgeous, beautiful, the people are attractive, everything, the lights, the cameras, everything's great, you can still fall short on script, storytelling, and structure. Style, it won't be enough to save you from the other three. And the other things of the production, the performance, the personality won't save you from something as important as the script, structure, and storytelling. And most people, if they even get topic, title, thumbnail, timing right in terms of packaging, look, Last Jedi, great title, great poster designs, great trailers, all the trimmings, and oh, hyper relevant. Oh, we've been waiting for this film. Oh, the timing is great. The release date is perfect. It had everything set up to win, but
including goodwill from the previous installment.
From the previous installment. I liked the video before. I liked the film before. Structure, storytelling, and script are the places where people suffer the most in delivering a quality experience for the viewer. You can buy your way to the technical quality of production. In fact, it's more affordable to buy your way to that than ever. But a lot of people do not put the effort into structure, storytelling, and script writing. They don't. And you don't always have to write a script, even bullet points. That could be part of that, and you could condense it there, especially if you're doing lifestyle or education, or if you are capable of doing ad-lib entertainment. You don't always need a script. But if something does require that, it requires thorough and good research, because you can make the best video in the world, and then someone will point out, but that's not true. And they'll harangue you, or they'll literally make a video about you for saying something that's not true, and maybe they have it, and maybe they have it coming, at that point. There's that. But then another aspect, Andrew, is so many people do focus and they get all the perfect gear, but then they freeze up on camera. They don't learn how to deliver confidently. They don't polish their on-camera confidence. They don't polish their communication style. Me, my early content, the worst part of it was my delivery. My information was good. My delivery sucked. I was monotone, boring, static, and everything like that. Nervous as hell on camera. Also, I didn't put enough effort into my presentation and my appearance on camera a lot of times. In terms of just having myself put together, because I was like, oh, no one's watching this, or no one cares, or this or that, or I just didn't think of it at the time, and I just wanted to get the video out. So those things mattered, and sometimes that suffered. And looking back on it, I leave those videos up to inspire you guys. You'll never make videos as bad as my old videos, most of you. So don't be afraid to publish something, even if it's imperfect. But I say all that to say there are so many things much more important than editing, and all of you are looking at your quality of your content through the lens of your editing style, and your editing style is not even the most significant part of the video, and it will not save you. If garbage is going in, the edit will not save it going out.
Yeah. And one thing I want to just challenge myself, and then I've had to challenge my friends when they're like, my first videos are terrible. A lot of times, though, they come off as authentic. And that's something that we fail to see because we're so focused on making sure we got it right. We don't have the perspective, and I've been guilty of it. Like, when I was down on some of my older videos, people were like, no, you were so authentic, though. And I discounted that. I didn't see it in that light. Not to say that, you don't, you know what I mean? But I'm saying that there's things we don't see just as much as the things we do can sometimes be our benefit.
We have our blind spots.
Yeah. And so I think the way you just broke it down is a great example of it. And like when we look at our content history and we look at our videos in the same way, a lot of times for a viewer, that's their episode 1. A lot of time in most of the case, we just did it here in the live stream. Yeah. That's their first experience. But it's not only about their first experience, it's about how you show up the next time and you keep showing up.
And that's why consistency is not just about frequent posting. One of the other things for me, aggressively having people either do daily long form or multiple daily long form or even daily shorts. And it's not for everybody in every niche to do it exactly the same way. That's why I have the ranges. And I said, well, here's the range I like for entertainment channels versus lifestyle channels versus education channels. Here's the cadence. Here's all this stuff. Is because you get a faster result of how quickly people can binge watch you. They have a quicker opportunity to binge watch you. They have a higher likelihood of binge watching watching you, and so they can see the consistency happening in how you present, how you show up, how you deliver a lot quicker, and get accustomed to that and see, oh, you can and will deliver and you will show up the same way, same energy, and you won't switch up on me. They feel that a lot quicker and a lot deeper and can build the connection faster. It's no different than, are you more likely to build an emotional connection with somebody that you're seeing and experiencing every day, or somebody who's sitting there coming in and out and ghosting you?
No. I mean, if someone shows up day after day, we remember it. But if like, I often say, you know, YouTube's origins are a dating site, right? So you gotta date your audience. If I only show up once, I'm like, hey, you want to come and hang out on Tuesday, but I don't show up on Tuesday. What does that say to my audience? What would that say to someone I'm dating?
A lot of people don't understand that, like, you make a commitment to the people and to the things that you consume. I'm a brand loyalist. Look at how much of a brand loyalist I am, Andrew. I have literally more than 10 Sony cameras at this point. Okay, I have 27 DJI products. I am a brand loyalist and fanatic. If a brand manages to get me, but again, I can be won or lost, because you remember I was a diehard Nikon fanboy for a while too. I was a diehard Nikon fanboy. I went out there and I owned 4 or 5 Panasonic cameras for a minute. I had 4 or 5 Panasonic cameras for a minute. Okay, so like, because I think I had like 3 GH5s and a G7 and then a point and shoot Lumix camera as well. So I had like 5 Lumix cameras, and now I have like 10, 12, 15 Sony cameras. I have multiple 27 different DJI products. I've bought in like 12 years, I bought 8 drones from them. Like, I'm a brand loyalist. Brand loyalty is worth thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, quite literally. Sony got me to buy 20 bloody lenses. Okay, like I have almost every G Master lens. I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying, look at the value of winning me over, and what losing me could look like from a dollar perspective over the decade. Okay, so a relationship is not to be taken lightly. Okay, and you have a relationship you can build with your audience. My relationship with Andrew over the years, with working with him at TubeBuddy, working with him on various other projects and brands. Andrew, like, you have had a relationship with me now for like 10 years, where you've worked with me across maybe 5 or 6 different companies that you've interacted with.
Yep.
Like, that's like a big deal, and that's a big commitment. That's a big loyalty play and everything like that, and it's significant. Even the relationships I've had with brands that I've been loyal to, for them has represented 6 or 7 figures worth of me bringing them business. So to be an advocate for them and to put my name behind them. I say all that for you guys as creators to look at the relationship you have with your audience, look at the relationship you have with your fellow creators, look at the relationship you have with your brands that you're an ambassador or affiliate or a partner with. Now look at it like that over the course of a potential decade-long relationship. Now think about the value of consistency in a different way. Think about the value consistency of, like, are you someone reliable? Are you someone loyal? Do you bring the same energy? Do you stand by what you say? Even at the risk of being repetitive, will you stand on business? Will you do that? And that matters. And so for me, one of the things I still attribute to 0 to 100,000 subscribers is literally the doubling down on saying the same thing a different way, presenting it in a new way, adding layers to it, adding and stacking and building on that foundation of, this is why I stand on, this is why I stand by, this is what I believe, this is where I see our ability to create value for each other. Here's the relationship we're going to have. That is that important. It is that singular. And I think that the quicker you establish consistency, continuity, it takes people on average 7 times to stick with something. Repetition is that important for them. Becoming someone's good habit or guilty pleasure. Like, well, hey, becoming someone's, you never know. Yeah, you never know. Look, there was a minute back to MTV Teen Wolf and Buffy the Vampire Slayer were guilty pleasures of mine.
Oh, like, we could go too far on Buffy, but then that's going to be our Canto bite. They were going to be like, what happened to all the value, right? But thinking back, right? Yeah. Like, but now, even in that, right, in that brief moment, that authenticity is undeniable, and to a viewer, that matters, because you're like, oh, wait, Roberto likes Buffy? I didn't know that. And that's a small, people talk about storytelling. We just did a small story in a microcosm that now lets people know you deeper. And people think storytelling has to be this big, grand, long epic. not every story is a grand epic. Sometimes a
No.
boy just met a girl.
Exactly. It can be a small thing. It can be a vignette. We all still, those of us who are 80s kids, to this day, still think about, Kevin Arnold and Winnie Cooper and that being the dream, the fantasy of that's boy meets girl. That's the boy meets girl epic fantasy story. For those who were 90s kids, it's Corey and Topanga,
Right.
or it's Steve and Laura. Steve Urkel and Laura Winslow. It's that should have been Myra. The not letting it go. So it's that sort of thing, and it sticks with us. It's to the point to where, again, people say, oh, no one remembers shorts or short form, to the point to where, okay, then why is it I can still remember Peter McKinnon's 7 hacks in 90 seconds video? Why is it I still remember Patrick Bet-David's day in the life of an entrepreneur? Why is it I can still sit there and remember all these different Freddie Wong videos from back in the day? And stuff like that. Why is I still remember to this day iJustine's music video parodies on a $5 cheap green screen made in Windows Movie Maker? Why is it I still remember these things? Why do I still remember Ryan versus Dorkman and Ryan versus Brian, the lightsaber fights from back in the day? Why is it that these are things that are less than 3 minutes long? So there's this, if something is good enough, it leaves an impression. To this day, people remember commercials. They remember Super Bowl commercials. If so, you can leave a memorable impact in 30 seconds, 60 seconds or less. Some people still remember epic movie trailers. To this day, I still remember the Star Wars prequel trailers where they would do everyone's profession, like Jango Fett, Bounty Hunter, Yoda, Jedi Master, Anakin Skywalker, Chosen One, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Jedi Knight. They did those vignettes that were 60-second or less trailers to the Attack of the Clones.
Right.
And people still remember them. I still remember from the first time I ever watched YouTube, almost 20 years ago, that me and my friends were at my friend Malcolm's apartment on his laptop, and we were watching these really funny YouTube skits. It was Terrible Terry Tate, Office Linebacker. I still remember that.
Wow, that's a throwback.
That's a throwback, right? I still remember that to this day. I still remember goofy Jenna Marbles 10 years, 12 years later with this, what was it? She's Girafficorn.
Right.
Jenna
Well,
Girafficorn.
I remember this little comedy group, Derek Comedy, that, at the time, who would have known would have spawned one of the most successful careers, arguably, of all time, right? So, Derek Comedy, if you're unaware, that's where Donald Glover, got a lot of his start, right? So, you don't know what you could do or what you can become, and that's why I think that's why people love the potential of YouTube. This conversation shows the power of remembering.
Dylan O'Brien made little comedy skits on YouTube and then was discovered for that for MTV's Teen Wolf, and then went on to be the lead in the Maze Runner trilogy. Dylan O'Brien, YouTuber.
I saw someone say, "Why does Justin Bieber call himself a YouTuber?"
Because that's where he got started,
that's
and
where
that's where
he got started,
and that's where he was discovered by Puff Daddy of all people. And so that's how he was discovered. Dua Lipa was at the Made on YouTube event. She didn't perform for us, but Dua Lipa got her start as a little girl making videos in her bedroom, singing on YouTube, and a lot of you don't know that. Dua Lipa.
Right. And we're talking about consistency, we're talking about discipline. Let's zoom out. Why do you think Opus Clip has been doing Thursday live streams? They've been doing Saturday live streams. They've been doing weekly video posts because they understand the value of showing up, working with folks, and making sure that the experience you are watching right now, I'm speaking to you behind the camera, behind this, whether you're on your phone, whether you're on your tablet, whether you're on your TV, no matter where you're watching this, Roberto and I have been talking to you now for an hour and 22 minutes. That is not anything on accident. And you know what? They can talk to us again, and if they know deeper, they can find us on Roberto's channel. But Roberto, where can people find you?
You can find me at Roberto Blake pretty much everywhere on social media. You can find me at Roberto Blake on X, Instagram. You can find me at Roberto Blake on YouTube, youtube.com/@RobertoBlake. And I've got a lot more content coming for you, especially if you want to do short form. And again, shout out to Opus for having me. If you want to work with me, like some of the clients who I share case studies from, you can find me over at awesomecreatoracademy.com. You can either work with me one-on-one, or you can join the academy Academy Pro group, where I work with a group of creators and do office hours twice a week. You also get access to all of our resources, the downloads, courses, yada, yada, yada. So you can find all that stuff at awesomecreatoracademy.com. If you got a quick question, you can shoot it to me publicly on X, so that I can answer it for everybody once and for all, or for the 50th time. I'm also planning to even start doing my YouTube short strategy partly around literally just answering creator questions and debunking creator myths, and then showing data or a case study or something in terms of, oh, how much does YouTube Shorts pay? Well, here we go. And then showing that. Or how much does YouTube pay for 1 million views, or things like that. So I have plans for a lot more long form and short form as we head into 2026, Andrew. And then, of course, on Fridays, we know I do YouTube channel reviews for people looking for them.
Yep. And you can see me on my own channel, Andrew Can, and right here on the Opus Clip YouTube channel. So thank you everyone for watching, and we hope you have a great day. We'll see you next Saturday.
Bye-bye.